What's this movie called?
It's called Escape from Ghostland.
It's not that. Prisoners of Ghostland.
I wanted to escape from Ghostland.
Yeah.
Hey, the way the internet tells me, I type in Nick Cage, and it tells me Nicolas Cage. I was like, no, Google.
It's like I'm aware of who I fucking was searching for.
Oh, you mean Nicholas? Because we know him as Nicholas here on the internet.
There's a quote from the director.
It's the wildest movie
on
I've
the
ever
post.
made.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, dude. Good for you. Good for you.
And great for you, Dustin, as you movie right now as we let's together. Prisoners of the Ghostland. Yeah, another Nick Cage joint. Directed by Shion Sono. And the first 5 seconds into this movie, I realized I've seen a lot of his movies. A lot. Like a lot. Yeah, no, when you look up his discography or whatever, you're going to be like, damn, I've seen a lot of things.
Oh, shit. I have already seen, you know. And he says that this is the wildest movie he's ever made.
I have
Jesus.
I got a love-hate relationship with this particular director.
I'm gonna say I mostly hate this guy.
Shion Sono, I think personally, he has a lot of awesome, great ideas, concepts. Like, why don't you play in hell? Suicide Club. I mean, even Love Exposure, stuff like that. And I know I know Tokyo Tribe. I watch his movies and I go, oh shit, this is one of his every single time. Like I go, oh, I'll look at that. Oh, and that's where I know I vibe with this guy because his movies catch me before I realize they're his movies. But then I watch them, I'm like, oh man, this is Shion Sono, isn't it? And then it is. It always is. Every single time it is. And I remember the very first time he got me was Suicide Club. And I think you watched it or you bought it first or something. You're like, you should watch this.
I cold bought it from like Best Buy in like the DVD era when that was like
the horrible
only time you're
getting
getting
Western release.
Oh,
Holy shit.
And I remember watching that and just being so disappointed by the end. I was just like, man, this started off real cool. And then just kind of just kept going for a long time.
The problem with that movie, and we're not covering that, we're covering Prisoners of the Ghostland.
Yeah.
It just doesn't go anywhere. Like it has this very like interesting concepts, like high concept even, and I'm all in until I'm not, until I want to get off, and I'm like, you've overstayed your welcome. There's only a couple of moments where I'm like, yeah, this is fun. It's not working. But this is written by Aaron Hidley, Riaz Sio Safi, and it starred Nicolas Cage, Sophia Boutella, gorgeous, and Bill Moseley.
No. And Tak Sakaguchi, who I wish I'd recognized. He got a little old. The main guy, our prisoner KSC2-303 from Versus.
Oh, okay. He looked familiar. I just couldn't place it because I've seen.
Yeah, I know. I was just like, random. Man, I was just like, what? I was like, where do I know this motherfucker from? And then I just looked him up just now, and I was like, Versus. I was like, oh, he's the fucker. He's the guy.
Yeah. Versus, an extra fun movie. Not perfect, but tons of fucking fun. Yeah, it's an English-Japanese mesh. What?
I was gonna say real quick, he was probably the only part of the movie I did like. So.
And that is generous. It's 103 minutes. It's kind of going around 40,000. Small movie. You're not gonna really. It's not gonna do any damage. But yeah, I know Nick Cage is a fan of Sono, and he really, 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 really wanted to work with him. And I do know this movie had a lot of stop and starts just because I think Sono had to get, I think he had like heart problems. So they had to stop production, start it up again. I couldn't really tell, as I couldn't really tell a whole bunch of things were going on in Ghostland.
Yeah.
It's,
I mean, it's like part Escape from New York, part everyone's already dead, so this movie doesn't even matter.
it's real anime. Like when I first, I was like, man, this is like got some anime vibes, like a live action anime. Like, it's very comic booky, manga-ish, however you want to cut it. It's
there's two sets built, and this whole movie takes place there.
Yeah, and he really gets his money's worth for these sets because I like the sets. It's this weird Eastern Western mashup. It's almost like they're in Japan in this place called Samurai Town, and there's a lot of American Old West cowboy stuff going on in there. I really enjoy the first, I don't know, off and on, I enjoy the first 10, 15 minutes with the town and everyone just being kind of awkward and weird, and the singing and the clapping, and I'm like, man, this is weird. I like this. It's got I really got excited, and the moment we left, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. So the opening scene in like the bank. Okay, first and foremost, I'm gonna give this movie the only other compliment I have for it. And this is it. The only other compliment. There's no other compliment I can give it. The cinematography was fantastic. Okay.
Yeah.
Visually, it was fantastic. There's not a bad fucking shot in the movie.
No.
There isn't. It's like, and I feel like that's what's so annoying about how this movie, because I can't knock it visually, but its story, the acting, the production, everything, like the sets, everything else is just utter and complete trash. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. This movie should have either been in all Japanese with just Nick Cage there, or I don't know what else, because it has this weird, like you said, it's like this weird like Western Eastern meshing, which I was fine with, but if you don't know who directed it, if you don't know anything about that, it comes off like a white guy made a movie about Japan and put Nick Cage in it. And it's like, oh, this seems horribly offensive. And then you're just like, oh, it wasn't? Oh, okay. Still feels like it was offensive. Like this, just real bad. Just real bad.
I didn't get the offensive part. I got more of a real mesh of stuff I like, and I just put it all together in a movie.
But that's because you're educated and you know what that stuff is, though, Kevin. If I'm just like a generic person from America watching this, I think it would
fly over most people's head. I don't think
they would think it's comedic almost.
Yeah, I don't think they would be engaged enough to really. They would probably be like, "Wow, this is some Twin Peaks, David Lynch shit." Kind of what it's. I don't get it. I think it's a big. I don't get it. I feel.
Yeah.
I got it.
I don't get it either.
I got it, and there was a lot of things, like I said in the beginning, I enjoyed. I wanted to like it a lot when it started, and then it just didn't. I just felt like I was wearing that suit, and only both my nuts got blown off, except for the other two were on my eyes and blew those off too.
I felt like I was an entire body of nuts that were all just being blown off one by one while I watched this.
I felt like I was the girl just screaming, just Bernice the whole time. I felt like I was screaming
Bernice!
On the inside. You know?
He's a monster. We're never going to show you why he's a monster. We're just going to yell it sometimes.
Bernice. So basically we are in Japan. It's devastated. This dystopian apocalyptic future-ish.
Nope, we're in a bank.
Shit. Let me just paint this, because the bank thing was years ago, dude. It was years ago. I just want to lay down the land really quick.
it 100% plays into the only
We'll get there. We'll
thing
get
I
there.
got from this movie.
I'm
All
gonna
right.
do
We'll try it your
what
way.
the movie should have done. Okay.
It shouldn't have been made. That's what it should have done.
So there is basically a jacked up weirdo town.
No. There's a street. Let's just be honest. There's
Yeah.
a double-sided Western type street where it's like town is this street. That's it.
Like it would take place in the American West, Old West, but then it has the Japanese Old West. But a lot of the people are hybrids. They're either dressed in cowboy stuff or like feudal Japan, like geisha kimonos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then you get this modern bank where we first meet Hero. That's his name, Nick Cage, or that's how he's billed. But their attire and stuff is completely different. And I assume this was before the devastation and the quarantine and all that crazy stuff of whatever world we're in now, because they almost look like Fisher Price toys, like the little guys with the cop uniforms inside the two security guys that stood side by side and got aired out on one shot for the most part. It's really weird. Like you're in this really bright, colorful. It almost belongs in a different movie.
Yeah, it's very pastel. It's very monochromatic, like everything. Like if I'm wearing red, I'm wearing all red, and if I'm wearing green, I'm wearing all green. It's visually that's the part that catches your eye, and then Nick Cage comes running in. Put the money in the bag. And his doofy guy wearing eyeliner is just sitting there, and he's just eyeing this kid like he just wants to murder this child. He's just like, I'm gonna murk this fucking kid. This kid's getting a bubble gum.
I was like, is this kid gonna be a character? Like, does he know that kid? Like, what's happening?
I don't know. But yeah, and then we cut before anything happens though in this scene. It's just him getting the money, and then the other guy looking like he's about to fucking lay waste to this child who's offering him a gumball. And then Nick Cage is like, no. And then it's like sometime later. Here's not Nick Cage's hands in handcuffs.
Yeah, and he's basically Nick Cage is busted. He's doing some hard time. He gets drug out to the street in his little diaper because he's a prisoner. So you think, oh, they must have got him for that bank robbery we saw 2 seconds of. And here comes the governor and his fucking like old Texas he had like the little steer horns on the car, and man, he's wearing all white. It's almost like a oil tycoon look to him.
All white with red gloves, driving gloves.
And he has like his minions or his harem of what were they called, granddaughters? He was recruiting from just kidnapped women from around the area. And I kind of like this. They're all running around just clapping for him.
Oh, wait, I think we missed a scene. There's a scene before that, though, where Berenice leaves. I think. First and foremost, we're going to get a lot of this movie out of order because, again, there's technically three sets. Okay? And I will say this. Every scene is longer than it needs to be. Yeah. Way longer. Like, enough to where you get bored and fall asleep. That's how much longer. And you wake up and nothing has happened. And you're like, oh my God, why is this so fucking long? No, the town is introduced to us so we're in like the red light district, like the old, like Japanese prostitution houses.
They're like, red light in any country, dude.
All right, calm down. But I'm saying it looks exactly like the feudal Japan ones that you would like see in other movies and stuff. And then what's his fucking character name? Yasujiro. He retires for the evening, and then these three women. One is Berenice, played by Sophia, whatever.
It's Bernice. It's just Bernice. I don't know where like your syllables are coming from. Yeah, he's the governor's pretty much executioner. Yeah,
and they're making a run for it, getting the fuck out of there. And it's so weird because like they're trying to do this stealthily, but then everyone's cheering for them, like really loud. But they make it. They make it to some car. We just teleport them to a car. They're driving away, and they're like, "Where are we off to, Bernie?" And she's just like, "I don't know. Wherever the fucking road takes us." And then it takes them into some like samurai ghosts that just make them wreck their cars. And then she wakes up in like a bed of filth, wearing like a, I don't know, a wife beater dress of some kind. And then she goes down, and there's these people like yelling at a clock, and she's just like, "Where am I?" Or something. I forget what she yells. What? Something fuck shit like, "Where am I?" or "Who am I?" or something. I don't know. And then we go to Nick Cage being pulled out to the street, and the governor showing up.
That's crazy. I don't remember any of that.
Yeah, see, yeah, that's because it's just so fucking,
Was it shot late at night too?
It was.
A lot of the clock scenes are at night, if I remember.
Yeah, no, it was very dark. Yeah, he just wrecks the car, and then she just wakes up alone, and she's just like, "I don't know who I am. Does anyone have $1?" And they're just like, "Shut up, Bernie. Get back up to your fucking mattress up there, your piss mattress. Fucking put some clothes on."
And that's the problem. Like, dress. I think if this movie would have stayed a little more tighter on the narrative of just kind of how they were delivering it, it would have been easier to digest. We kind of go back and forth with these weird flashbacks, and they're too frequent, and they really don't flesh out anything and help any characters' narrative beats. Nothing. It's just kind of like, what? Why did you show me this?
These characters are the definition of one-dimensional. Like,
yeah,
they have no depth at all.
They're literally just on your screen.
Yeah, like you could just you could replace any of these people with anyone else doing just as poor of a job. Like, that's how irrelevant their character is.
So you know what kind of
it's more like Nick Cage in a costume.
Yeah, and he doesn't really even get to be Nick Cage except for one time, and it is awesome, but it's just too far gone past that. Anyway, by the time we get to it,
feeling I know what scene you're talking to.
It is the scene. Like it's incredible.
And I wouldn't say it's incredible, but
no, I loved it.
I think I know.
It's flawless. It's literally.
Anyway, so yeah, now Nick Cage in a diaper is out in the street, and the governor's saying.
The governor just cuts him a deal, right? He's just like, "Hey, go find my Bernice. She's run, and I don't know you or trust you, but I'm going to give you this job of finding my prize girl, and I'm going to put you in this explosive suit. It's going to, if you touch her or anything, you don't do these rules that I'm about to set out for you. The suit has little bombs on it. There's 2 on the neck, 2 on your nuts, 1 on each arm. And there's a little pit boy on your wrist, so you can check in with Bernice, and she's going to say her name in it, but it's real bootleg, and it doesn't work, but we'll get to that later." Yeah. And then Nicolas Cage is like, "Yeah, man, I'm not even going to say anything right now." But
I love how he doesn't zip up right away, and then for some reason he takes off the underwear and just like throws it at the women that are oogling his balls.
Well, they're not oogling it, they're mocking him. I've seen women knock a dude's junk from a distance, and that's what they were doing. But
my second favorite character is the Japanese schoolgirl drawing him photorealistically for some reason.
No, so yeah, that's what I was going to say. This is what I hate and love about this movie. There's these little gems that this movie does.
Yeah.
It's a blend of all nationalities, it feels like, in the crowd, right? And then some are really more accustomed to certain eras than others, but they're still doing that whole East meets West thing. And then you have this out of place schoolgirl that's just sketching like mad, and it's this awesome drawing of him in his diaper and his chains and stuff. And then once he takes it off, she starts erasing it. She's like, "Oh, I'm about to draw some Nick Cage dick. Hell yeah!" And I love that. I love that weirdness because I want to really know does she write the history? You know what I mean? Does she just are she going to narrate these moments with these cool drawings? Are we ever going to come back to this? Absolutely not.
No.
Fucking bullshit.
To me, I just felt like it was just a weird, random, like humorous thing,
Yeah, but that's what always drives me crazy about his movies. There's these little gems that he'll put in there, and I'm like, man, I really wish he would have used that more, or kind of have that be part of your world, because I had fun there, and I think you got something there to make this unique, to make this world unique, to make this experience unique. He does it a little bit later, and I'm like, man, you keep doing it. It's so frustrating to watch this shit because you just drop it, and then, like you said, he goes into another scene that's just way too long and dumb. I'm like, why did?
Yeah, no, they're all way too long and dumb. Because we're not even done with this scene with him. So after he's been told, yeah, you got to get Berenice to talk in this thing, you'll get 2 extra days. And he's just like, my nuts, really? And he's just like, sorry, gotta do it. And then they give him a car, Kevin.
No, dude, this is my favorite part. This is one of my favorite parts. You're gonna have to get there. They give him a fucking 2002 Toyota Celica.
No, it was a Nissan.
As a Celica, dude, stop. It was a Celica right now. I'm telling you. It was not a fucking Nissan.
That was a Nissan.
No, dude, it was not. I'm gonna check you on the podcast and say it was not.
You're the last time we bet on cars, you were wrong. So I'm just saying.
What Nissan was that then?
I don't know, but it had the Nissan fucking logo on it.
I didn't see Nissan.
You know what? You tell them what you want to tell them. I'm gonna go to the movie.
It doesn't matter, man. No one's gonna watch this. So,
I'm gonna have to fucking watch it a second time to see what fucking car it is.
he gets in the car, and everyone's just like, "Yeah, man, he's gonna do it." He drives away. He fishtails it into this big, and then he gets on a little bike. He just starts going. And everyone's like, "That's our hero. So cool." And I was like,
yeah,
"Oh,
real F you to fucking man."
yeah." And I was like, "Oh, this is awesome." And then they don't do it again. And then he gets out, and the other guy's like, "Hey, man, you need to hurry the fuck up." The executioner's like, "You need to," and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll get back."
Like, not a lot of time, right?
Yeah, and I was like,
Yeah.
"No, if you would have rolled up on this with a fucking bike, I would have been awesome. This is great."
How is he supposed to bring someone back on a bike?
I don't give a fuck, man. Like
it was weird and funny, and I don't know. It was weird and funny, but it also brings me to my other problem. It feels like, why are they sending this man to the next town over when it's just the next town over? Like it definitely isn't. It just there doesn't feel like there's a great distance where he would really need to travel several days, because they teleport back and forth so quickly. It's like it's the same fucking town practically.
Well, that's the thing, right? You think it's a beat the clock type of thing is going to take effect with you. Oh, he needs more days, a lot of traveling. He gets there, he finds her instantly, dude. And I was like,
Yeah.
what?
That's because she's like 5 fucking feet away practically. She's like only person. She's like, hey, do you have any new people here? They're like, yeah, Bernie over there in the fucking wife beater dress.
She's playing in the mannequin makeup thing we do for all the new people. He's like, okay. I was like, what? That's the 5 days? That's what? And then he's like, let's go. And I'm like, we're done. Is the movie over? It was just a big head scratcher. I'm like, man, at least if he had the bike, I would have been like, it's going to take him some time. I would rather just see a montage of Nick Cage riding a bike on all these different backgrounds.
All right, I stand corrected. It is a Toyota.
Yeah, man, it's a Toyota Celica. I knew that car. Like, I had a friend that had that car. Yeah, I knew that car, and I thought it was funny. It made me laugh, and then he like wrecks it in 2 seconds. I was like, dude, that's not a Jeep.
He doesn't even wreck it. He just like drives it up and
he Jeep parks it, and I was like, bro,
no, yeah, he definitely Jeep parked it.
I was like, that ain't a Jeep. What are you doing? That shit rides.
Yeah, well, the ghosts show up, and they're like, no, drive it here, and he's just like, and it just shows him like wrecked car, parked like a Jeep.
Yeah, and he's just laying there, and now he's on a fucking this wooden like crate. What is it, like a wooden wagon? What do you call it? A flat?
Yeah, it's basically just like a wheelbarrow or like a.
He's on a wagon. I'm calling it a wood wagon.
Rickshaw. He's on a rickshaw, basically.
Sure. And they're taking his unconscious body along with some other chick, and she's like, "Are you here?" He's like, "I'm looking for Bernice. Are you Bernice?" And I was like, "You don't even know who you're looking for, bro."
That's because the picture had 3 people in it. He didn't know which one was which.
I was like, "Is this Back to the Future?" They just start disappearing.
And she's just like, "No, but I was with her." He's just like, "Not gonna save you."
Nope, not close. Close, not close enough.
Yeah, and then the what do they call it from Transformers? The trash bots. Junkticons. They show up.
Bots. That's
the Junkticons show up in fucking human form, because that's totally what that was, Kevin, and you know it. You fucking know it.
I didn't get that.
Really? Even the way they were talking, the way they were acting, with the trash and everything,
I
you
just
didn't
felt like
fucking
they were
get that
real,
vibe at all.
No, I just felt like they were real bootleg, like Mad Max, just the North Star poor people. When I was just like, oh.
No, I'm talking about the guy with the fucked up voice, and they had like the big shoulder pads and shit.
Yeah, that's what I just thought
rat
they were
guy or whatever the fuck. His name is.
I could see that now, but I didn't at the time. I was just like, you're just a weird. Gonna eat dog food and build a supercar for him or something so he can drive angry. And then he didn't do that. And I was like, what good are you? I wanted him driving a car with a samurai sword, just chopping off ghost guys' heads. I'm like, but nothing cool happened. I'm waiting for the cool.
No budget at all. Yeah, so he's carted up to I don't know, poor town's governor. Every poor town's got a white guy governor doing white guy stuff. I don't know. And he says a bunch of words. None of them have any meaning. None of them do anything for the story. And then, like, some woman tells a story of them, basically that they're dead already. I don't know. I found it really hard to pay attention to this part.
Well, because everyone's just talking bullshit.
Yeah, and along. Like, no, there's no... It's just like, here's my turn, and I'm doing, like, a stage play, and everyone else is just the audience right now. Even though there's, like, 90 fucking people here, I'm the one that gets to talk.
Well, I
hope I don't drone on.
I guess we could just sum these guys up. They're just I don't know, poor people. Like
they're the ghosts, I guess, or something. I don't even.
That's what I took it as. They were just the outcast of society, and they didn't want to live in the governor's weird old samurai town.
Well, they said they didn't know how to escape from that area because they said the ghosts always bring them back or whatever
and fuck them up.
Yeah.
But then they're scared when the ghosts come because they're fighting time, right? They don't want the clock to progress because that's when the ghosts show up. Is that what I was supposed to understand?
No, the town explodes again. Yeah. And so there's these 3 dudes, just 3 of them, holding back time, pulling on the limpest fucking rope I've ever seen. I was like, hold it taut, you motherfuckers. Hold it taut.
And I was like, time is a construct created by man. They were just like, what the fuck?
Well, this is a visual representation of us fighting the clock.
Are you trying to fight? I was like, is there subtext here, guys? Anyone?
There probably is, but it's not.
Lost on me. The mannequins, and I assume we're all just waiting for the world to end.
Mannequins that look like giant dolls. Those weren't mannequins.
The doomsday clock is always ticking on all of us. We're just mannequins just waiting to decompose, and the A-bomb that's going to drop. I don't know.
Yeah. So a bunch of people start manhandling Nick Cage, though. And this is the scene I think you're talking about, Kevin, when he gets up off the cart. And what does he say? What does he yell?
No, man. Mine is this motivational speech at the end of the clock.
Oh, really? Oh.
But no.
No, he gets up and he's just like, "I'll fucking karate chop you. Hi, fucking yaw."
Oh, yeah. Well, that was like, I thought he was drunk.
Yeah, I was just like, I don't think Nick Cage signed up for this scene, and he got a little uncomfortable. And the only thing he could think to say was, "Hi, fucking yeah."
Yeah, I was like, Nick, did all the blood rush to your head on that cart? He's like, maybe.
I was like, why was he so fucked up from parking his car poorly?
Dude, you see the angle on that? That dipped him out pretty hard. He was not buckled up.
Yeah. He's just like, I got a bad case of vertigo from it, and they started carting me real bad. Fool.
He's like, dude, that silica got some get up and go, and I went right into a pile of rocks.
Yeah, and he's just like, I'm here for fucking Bernice, and I want my balls to blow off. So where is she? And then the mannequin man's just like, she's one of my mannequins.
He's like, "Thank you. Movie is over. Roll the goddamn
Yeah.
credit."
He's like, I found her. It's been a solid 20. We're good. Oh, we got a lot more movie, you say? Oh God. So he starts looking at these mannequin women that just have like latex doll faces, peeling off one, looking at the eye. He's just like, nope, not her. Nope, not her. I mean, granted, I'm just doing a process of elimination on the picture. I already met one of them, so I only got 2 left. Then he finds her. She doesn't want to like leave.
She doesn't want to talk. She's
She doesn't want to
traumatized.
talk. Oh, she can't. She lost her voice, even though the last scene we saw her and she yelled, "Where am I, you fucking twats?" And they were just like, "Whoa, damn, all right, okay." Edit that last part out.
I don't know, man. If I was in that town, I don't think I'd really want to say anything either.
Yeah, I don't think I would have got off my shit mattress. I think I'd probably be checking my butt to make sure it was still, intact. And
It's wrecked.
yeah, I was like, oh, I don't remember having a gaping butthole when I went to sleep last night. Jesus criminy.
Welcome to Clocktown, dude.
Goddamn Clocktown, a bunch of butt pokers. Jesus.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, Nick Cage grabs her. His shit starts going off because he's handling the women too rough.
Does he lose the arm first, or does the other one go off first?
No, he calms himself down. He's just like, hey,
Okay, yeah.
Need you to come with me. Okay.
I mean, like, dude, she's like mega hot, right?
She's all right.
I think she's gorgeous. And she's laying there with like kind of half knocked out, like drooling and shit. And he just looks at her and he's like, uh-oh. And then he gets a fucking chub. And then the fucking testicle one blows up.
No, she hits him in the balls. He does not get a chub.
I'm pretty sure he got a chub.
No, first he drags her all the way to the cart. And then like a bunch of people are following him. And then he like goes and tells off Ratman. That's his name, by the way. I'm not like just calling this guy that.
We get it.
He's just like, hey, you fucking Ratman, eat shit and die, motherfucker. He's just like, hey, I'm just the Ratman. I didn't even like do anything.
Ratman, no hyphen.
Yeah, no hyphen. That's it. And then he carts her all the way back to his car. Oh yeah, no, he asks a Ratman for gas because he just knows that his Toyota Celica is out of gas. He's
no way, man. They got great gas mileage.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, Nick, you drove like 10 minutes. Okay, into a rock. Like,
unless they fucked him and gave him like no gas.
They're like, you got 3 days and half a tank of gas. And you're just
gas is like $5.25 out here.
Dude, it's a fucking wasteland. We got fucking big rigs to drive. He takes her there, and that's when she smacks him in the nut. I don't know why. This part's a little hazy for me.
Yeah, I think she was just, hazing him.
Yeah, and then he's just like,
look at a rush.
What is the sound he made? Oh, he like spins around. It was the worst Nick Cage acting I've seen in a long time.
I thought it was great, dude. His testicle explodes. He's like, fuck,
fuck my ball. Something. I don't remember what he said.
It was great. And then he just falls out. We get a flashback. He's down and out, and I don't know which flashback this is because
this is when we see what actually happened in the bank. So
right, Nick Cage is not a kid shooter. The other guy likes to shoot the kids.
The other guy that was totally gearing up to shoot him, and he's just like, "You want to shoot a fucking kid?"
It's so weird. It's
like yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't know why, but
where's the bank robber's code?
Oh no, the best part is Nick Cage runs around like he's riding a horse. When
he gets shot in the goat, or his goat ruptures.
Yeah, he yells "oh" and he runs around in a circle, going ah.
It's great. Like, it's literally
he just stops and he's holding his ball.
It's one of the gems in this movie. This movie is like, it's got a bunch of Zelda rupees in it, right? Like, you're kind of like burning down shit, moving rocks, killing things. Damn, can I get a rupee in this bitch? The movie's like, here you go, there's one. You're like, all right.
You're like, oh, that's fine. Now I can buy some health potions and survive for a little bit longer. But anyway, yeah, and to the bank. He's not the kid shooter.
His trusty, crazy scumbag partner was.
Yeah, and they just start shooting. I don't know, fucking
For
everyone
everything.
for
Yeah.
some reason, and I think the kid eventually gets shot. So
You get this really majestic shot of the gumball machine that he was standing
yeah,
in front of over and
what bank
over.
has a gumball machine? Like
Hey man, Samurai Town. You never know what you're gonna get.
Samurai Ghost Town, Western Cowboy Town.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's really long, guys. It's a really long flashback.
Yeah, man, we're
And,
back. He's on the
right.
ground. He's nutless. I mean, some people pay
Yeah.
for this surgery. Nick Cage has got the suit.
And
He's like,
she's like, she did that to him intentionally, but then she stays around for him to recover.
yeah.
And I was like, what? And
She's like,
I think
hey,
she
nut
yells at his.
Cyclops. He's like, what?
And I think this is the part where she tries to yell into his wrist thing. I am Bernice.
Yeah, it's like,
Bernice.
please say your name in the recorder. It's very Fallout, where it's campy, yet it's really got a lot at stake here. If he doesn't basically get her voice match on there, he loses time, or he gets 2 extra days, I think, if once he gets her voice in print. But that thing's like not working.
No, because she lost her voice.
Like a lot of things in this movie that doesn't work.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden she just finally starts screaming. And I'm like, dude, he lost a nut, and not in a good way. He's not getting up, or he probably doesn't want to do much now.
Yeah.
Because he got an accidental chub because you hit it. You're hot. That turned him on. I was like, oh, what a way to go, hero.
And then after she yells, then we go to the governor and the sheriff.
I'm pretty sure like it doesn't.
Oh,
the
man,
other
I
one
pulled
goes
up
off
the
like
movie.
instantly.
No, his arm goes off too at some point.
Yeah, because they're all these like weirdo creeper dudes come. Aren't they the ghost from the?
No, that's later. No, we got. I'm fast forwarding through the movie as we.
Oh, I remember why he wrecks the car. He sees the ghost in their bus and the criminals and stuff.
Yeah, I said that.
Did you say that?
Yes.
I just remembered him jeeping
That's
it.
what I said. Bernice did the same thing. Yeah, and we just see this like weird scene where they like, I don't know, they find the third woman, bring her back to the sheriff and the governor, and then kill her. And then Nick Cage is back in Clocktown for a spell. And he's just like, we gotta go. Where'd you get booty shorts from?
Dude, when you're that high, you always got booty shorts within your grasp.
Yeah. Oh, Nick Cage has a weird like stage play dream where he looks up in the sky for like 25 minutes and she just stares at him. And he's
there's another part.
I got an extra life from all the kids and people I killed.
So there's that weird trance he goes in. There's a part where they try to pull each other apart, but she grabs his arm and he's like, "No, get off my arm, or you're gonna make this bomb go off." And that bomb goes off, so his fucking right arm's blown out. And he's like,
right arm is left nut.
Yeah, he's just having a fucking day. He lays it on the ground and he thinks back to the time he robbed that bank, and you see it spill out to the streets. And then you see the two whitest people in the alley, and they get shot, and Nick Cage is like, shrug, whoops, because the cops down the way are just shooting the whole street up. They don't give a fuck. And the little girl gets shot in the leg, and the mom gets smoked. And then he sees, it's not this scene, but who cares? He sees Bernice's leg, and she has the bullet scar. And he was like, "It was you." And I was like, "Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Of course it is. That's the laws of the Ghostland. Everything congeals when it doesn't need to."
You're the reason she went with this creepy guy.
The governor and his little sex slaves or something.
And then, like, I don't know. Let's just rush to the ending because then the bodyguard has a fight with some guys for some reason. We find out his sister's one of the prostitutes.
That was the only part I thought the sword work on that was actually really cool.
Yeah,
like the way he was just smoking them. I thought it was rad.
I don't know what else the fuck to say about it though. It's like I didn't understand what it had to do with the plot or anything else. I was like, why are you giving this guy motivation? This is weird. And then Nick Cage is still in fucking Clocktown. And he's like, I got a bandaged arm, and like Bernice is gone again. And he's just like, where does she live? And she's like, she lives over here in the shit mattress thing.
There's Dustin. And then you see Dustin, you've gone too far. Come back, take a left. That's Bernice.
Hey, that's my shit mattress. Nick Cage, why are you here?
What's wrong with your butthole, sir? Everything.
Everything. Have you been in Clocktown for more than 5 fucking minutes? Jesus Christ, my butt hurts. Okay, and then now we're at Nick Cage's speech. I don't know. I don't even remember.
Well, yeah, he wakes up. Bernice is there, and they're like drinking water and shit. And Nick Cage is like, "Hey, thanks for the water. We're getting out of here." And the little dirty kid's like, "You're the hero. You're the hero. You're gonna do this. Just take the ghost. The hero." He's like, "God, shut up. Like, I'll ignore you." And then Nick Cage is like, "Man, I'm gonna probably go back to that town and kill all these people, but I need these dirty people's help." And so he goes up to the clock tower, and these guys are still holding the rope. They kind of look at him like, "Oh man, is he gonna cut a promo?"
They're yelling way more than their force that they're given. They must be tired.
Dude, they're not even wearing gloves. That was my thing. I was like, "Come on, guys, that rope's gonna tear your hands up."
Yeah, that's why they're not doing it tight. They're like, "I'm not dying for my art." These are the fucking money makers. I'm not doing no way.
And then Nick Cage is like, you guys all suck. I just lost one of my nuts. My arm's fucked up. We got to get the fuck out of here. I'm going to kill this guy. You could fucking help me. Fuck. He just starts rambling. Yeah. It's so incredible. I was standing there watching him. I was like, man, is he going to go all out? I don't know what he's talking about, but I do know what he's talking about. And I'm just watching him, and he's just all over the place. He's like, this son of a bitch. I love it, dude.
They're just like, there's a way to stop him. And then they're like, there's no way. And then she's like, yes, there is.
And he's like, their plan is nothing. This is my promo.
Go get the Ratmen.
The plan is get in the car. We're going to drive over there. That was the plan. But that scene, it's another gem. And it's just, there's these little speckles of entertainment that I found in the movie. This was the biggest one for me, but to get to these little gems is so punishing. It's so boring. There's nothing else that happens to just excite you or to keep you engaged. It's brutal. It's literally your nuts are blown off, even your girl nuts. If you're a lady watching this, you're like, damn, this movie blew my girl nuts off.
Yeah, your fucking inner nuts. Yeah, one of them's popping instantly.
Your lady balls are donezo.
Yeah.
So the town's like, all right, you just need and he's like, Rat Man, give me some gas and fix me a hoopty. And he's like, bro, your silica is fine.
Yeah. Well, no, they just start scavenging for weird parts, and then some old man starts yelling.
Some dude pulls out Christmas.
He's like, we all die. We all die. And he has a heart attack or some shit. I don't even fucking.
And then they make it all back to the town, and Nick Cage just kills all the weirdos that were dressed like cowboys. And Bernice gets a fucking 6-shooter, shoots the governor, gets revenge. And
no, first they're marching there, and he runs into his old convat, or his buddy. And then we see that his prison bus collided with toxic waste. And it made Nick Cage electric. Like his personality, I assume.
Nice.
And it melted the other guy's face or whatever. And you're just kind of like, so everyone's dead and none of this story matters. Because you just said a prison bus collided with toxic waste. So they're dead. They're dead.
The Ghostland says no.
Ghostland says no. Shouldn't have crashed on Ghostland territory.
Yeah, totally.
And then there was an atom bomb that went off or something because of this.
Yeah, it's real weird. It's like, I'll go back to my manga reference. It's like you bought a series of a manga comic, but you're missing 3, 7, 12. So when you read it, you're like,
there was a sale at Barnes and Noble, and you just go out what was there, but you're just like, I'm missing 9 volumes.
There used to be this place called Bookstores. And sometimes they would have a little niche where manga lived, and otaku, weeb trash would go there.
They're like, we're still here, motherfucker, shut up.
They're like Hikimaru that accidentally got out just to buy the manga, and then they could run back in. All the weeb trash know what Hikimaru are because that's what they fucking are. And then that's what this movie feels like. And so I guess just to get through it, because it's such a disconjointed shit pile. He gets there and he kills everyone. And yeah, Bernice is looking for Susie or whatever, the girl that was screaming with the fucking wind up robot.
The one that can't act to save her fucking life. Like every line out of her mouth feels like
she looks terrified the whole time, and I believe it.
She's just excited to be in a movie. And Nick Cage has a football helmet for some fucking reason. And I'm just like, why?
Hey, he's fucking quoting Shakespeare when they give him the helmet. They're like, this is pretty cool. And he just wears the helmet. And I was like, oh, I thought he was going to put like blades on it or something to make it sick as fuck. And so he could head people. No, he didn't do that either.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then our heroes, they walk away. That's it. The governor's got shot.
He says, give me the key. And the guy says, I want to give you a drop of piss, you degenerate. And then they fight.
Yeah, I was saying, my timeline, the governor is shot. He is dead. We skipped that.
No, Nick Cage gets a robo arm too with a sword.
I don't remember that at all. I must have nodded off.
Yeah, you must. Well, they don't explain it. He just has it at some point. The bandages come off, and he just has a weird, like Akira metal organic arm with a samurai sword sticking out of it, and he kills a couple people.
5 out of 5.
You would think it would be really cool. I mean, he just doesn't really do anything with it. There's a lot of blood at one point squirting out of people. And it's just, yeah, he just kind of and then the bodyguard just like teams up with him for some reason. I don't know why.
Because he's all about freeing the hose.
But he's still fighting the bodyguard too. It's like he's like, no, we fight to the death or whatever.
Enemy of my enemy is friend of my sister.
No. Then he kills him.
Oh, friends no longer.
And and then they unlock, and then they leave, and then Trash Town. And the hero comes back to the Clock Town. They're like,
as they
free.
Should. Yeah, that's it. I mean, it stinks.
It sucks so bad.
It's weird, man. Like I hate it because it has all the trappings of shit I should like, and I love stuff like this, but it just missed everything for me, man. Like, and I was like, oh, that sucks. And it's weird too because I think Nick Cage was on a little bit of a thing. He was kind of cooking out there. I didn't get to see The Color of Outer Space, but that was one of the bigger ones on his. Look at me, I'm going to the movies. Look at me. And I was like, yeah, I wanted to see that one. I missed it, and I saw this come up. I mean, I thought Pig was great. I think Willy's Wonderland kind of missed the mark a little bit for me.
Yeah, but that one was fun. It was fun for what it was, you know? But, like, for me, that one and Pig, like, right now, he's 2 out of 3 on this podcast of the movies we've covered of Nicolas Cage. Like, that's the whole reason I think we even remotely entertained this one, is we were like, wow, I mean,
exactly.
Nick Cage is on a fucking tear. Let's give him another one, you know?
And we didn't cover it here, but I really loved Mandy when that came out. I was like, wow, this is a lot of fun. I would probably do a movie like this if I had the chance. And I was like, I loved it. So I was like, wow, man, Nick's in good graces with me. And then here come all these other movies. And I'm like, whoa.
Well, yeah, and this wasn't really him. He wasn't doing anything. He just was...
Yeah,
because no one's doing anything. Like, there's hardly any relevant dialogue. I'll put it that way, because there's a lot of dialogue, just not from him, not from any of our characters that we're following through the story. Just a lot of like background characters that are allowed to talk for way too long.
Yeah,
and it's horribly boring. Like, I'm not exaggerating. Every scene is like 5 minutes longer than it needs to be. You get all the relevant information, and then it just keeps going until you're just like, what's happening here? Like the scene where he runs into the kid shooter, that's like fucking 7 minutes long, dude. 7 minutes. And the only thing is that, yeah, he's dead in nuclear waste.
It feels like a story that's taken place in another part of a story that you didn't know anything about. Like, you're kind of thrusted in there. and not in a good way where there's a lot of just like craziness happening where you don't really have to focus. You can just be picked up and dragged along in this wild, crazy world. You don't, it's weird. Like I really think just the missing manga issues that's really how it felt. And I bet you in the issue I missed, the hero character's awesome, man. He just cuts like great promos. He just motivates me. It's like he's Kenshiro from Fist of the North Star. Kenshiro says like 5 fucking words, but he's so they make him so charismatic and such a fucking G. You're just like, man, I can't wait till he fucks up some bad guys. And this one, I'm just like, man, why didn't you ride that bike more? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like he did right. I mean, even that, the bike, like they show him ride that bike off camera for so long to where it kind of stops being humorous because of how long.
Well, because they don't pay it off.
Hold the shot.
Like if they would pay it off with a kind of a moment with the bike, I would have let it go. But that's the part where the gyms come into play. It's only a gym because it lets you have like a taste, right? Like you get one snort of the crack, one of the cocaine. You're like, ooh, am I addicted now? Can I have more? And the movie's like, I don't know what to do with this. I don't know how to make
Kevin's
this
a local
better.
drug dealer of Clocktown.
You know? I mean, what am I just selling?
Get your jibs over here, snort your jibs.
Yeah, it just, I don't know. It stinks because it's a missed opportunity. And it while you think it's complete trash, I see some sort of magic in there, and it hurts even more because they didn't do anything with it. And that makes me even more annoyed with it. So that makes me kind of hate it more, where you can just dismiss it as trash. I'm like, dude, you could have had something fun, and you fucking blew it. I hate you more than he does, just on that fact.
And I really fucking hate this movie. So, because it feels incomplete. Like I have a hard time saying there's even a narrative here. I feel like there's just stuff that happens.
It's just things.
And they like, and I don't know what they had behind the scenes or whatever, but it's like they hobbled together something and released something. And it's not worth anyone ever watching. Like no, it just isn't, like we didn't even come here to fix this shit. Nothing, because there's nothing to fix because there's so much missing. I could just make a totally new movie by the time I fixed everything.
Yeah. I could take this setting, these characters, and do something completely way more engaging, way more fun, because it's not a complex story.
No, it's just a very loosely Escape from New York premise. That's it,
Yeah. Just with these over the top characters. And your main character comes back and kills them all.
With a weird, like, penis arm with a sword in it.
Yeah,
like a fleshlight holding a sword. That's what his arm looks like, Kevin.
Oh, okay.
It's disgusting. There
you go.
It's a hard pass for me.
Oh, I think they figured that out.
Well, I wanted to make sure it's known.
I'm absolutely not leaving this a chance. I need you guys to pass on this.
I need you to know that even out of morbid curiosity, you should not watch this movie. Don't support it. Don't give it no money. Because it's an incomplete film. Don't support incomplete films. That's bullshit.
But you can support Let's Movie by just telling your friends what you listen to, how you check this out. Share the fun. This is absolutely a bad example of the fun that was had on this episode due to this movie, but I'm pretty sure they can go back in the archives and find something that will tickle their fancy. So any podcast provider, you figured it out because you're listening to it now. And if you're bored, you can go a week later on the YouTube. We'll throw it up there just for the lulz. You did it. We did it. Thanks, Dustin. I'm Kevin. And yeah, that's a Let's Movie, right, Dustin?
Testicle!
Yeah. Or Bernice would have sufficed. Either one.